The old man transformed into a wolf. Liberte shook his head and rubbed his eye as the man continued to speak. In 3 days, you will see me again in this form, and I will be your guide on a journey. For the next 3 days you shall perform the holy jeûne and bid your family farewell, for they will not see you for 150 seasons. Know this, before you leave the state of Louisiana, you will endure many trials and tribulations to enhance your spiritual man as well as your physical body that will prepare you for your journey. Be not afraid, for Sabaoth will be with you along the way, no physical harm shall befall you. Quickly interrupting, Liberte smiled and said, How can a man live to be 150 seasons? Sir, the ancient Fariji said, you know that with Sabaoth, all things are possible, but it will not be you, but your blood and your spirit that shall return to Sabaoth's people, and his name shall be called Cush. With your blood, in seeing, you shall see more, and, for hearing, you shall hear more. And with your spirit, you shall control the flesh, see with the eyes of Sabaoth, and teach others to do the same. The old man smiled as he transformed again, Behold, your wife. As he continued, an image of a beautiful woman appears in a cloud of smoke. Your spirits are one, and the love you share will be forever. It will be remembered as an example of Sabaoth's happiness between man and woman. Liberte said curiously, Wife. Liberte. 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 He heard a voice cry out, Who is that? Liberte said as he turned around. It was his loving mother, Aba. It is past noon, you lay in bed as if you have nothing to do. Go fetch the water so I may water my garden. His father, Tablita, looked at Liberte and shook his head in anger. Liberte stood up in his bed and grabbed his notepad. He scrambled through the pages and saw the poem, Fission. He rushed to get dressed and dashed out the door to get water for his mother's garden. He was also confused about what had happened. Was it a dream or vision from Sabaoth? Then he reached down to get the water out of the river, and as he reached into the water, an image of the wolf appeared in the water. Hearing, in 3 days, make haste, he heard the voice of the messenger once again. Jeûne was a ritual performed by the Wakatilians. One would go without food or fast as you consecrate yourself to the Lord. By doing so, you're building up the spiritual man and lowering or resisting the physical man or your flesh. Flesh refers to your material or fleshy weaknesses and desires. The holy jeûne was more intense than a regular jeûne or fast. You spent the entire time in a room filled with smoke from herds that enabled you to see more and hear more. As Liberte looked back to see if there was indeed a wolf behind him, he said to himself, I must return and prepare myself for the journey. He grabbed the bucket filled with water and ran home, spilling water everywhere along the path. He reached home and ran into the house to his mother and father. Liberte said quickly and fiercely, I have seen the many faces of the ancient Fariji. I was instructed to perform the holy jeûne for the next 3 days, and I shall not see your face again after that. Let us perform the holy jeûne together, for I shall need your guidance, and all that you have taught me must be enforced. Upon explaining what happened to him, Tablita's face and spirit changed and answered, So it is. Liberte read from the Book of Kings, from the ancient Torah, a book the Wakatilians believed contained the words of Sabaoth. After 2 days of training and fasting with his father, he spends 1 day in a holy jeûne with his mother and siblings. He knew they would not see one another again, with tears in their eyes but joy as well in their heart, for they knew Sabaoth called him to do great work in his life. On the 3rd day, around dusk, the wolf appeared to Liberte. With sadness in his eyes, he bid his family farewell and left on his journey. Wanyanyekavu. Liberte turned around, his father was waving with tears in his eyes. Wanyanyekavu was in shock, for he had told no one of his new name. As he slowly turned back around, his heart was filled with sadness, for he knew he would never see his family again. Make me proud, my son, said Tablita. With tears in his eyes, he replied. It will be so.